Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We are going to do a practice that is entirely floor-based, laying on our backs in supine position. Oh, but don't confuse that for just maybe easy the whole time. It's going to be a practice that's based on a full version of the hand to foot sequence. So you might want to strap if you want to make your arms a little bit longer. We'll start with some pelvic rocking and rhythmic work. We'll work through our Supta Hasta Padangusthasana sequences, and we'll finish with a moment of constructive rest. So as you're ready, come on onto your back. We'll meet there. As you come onto your back, place your head squarely on the floor, shoulders back, sacrum down, tailbone down, bent knee position, feet on the floor. Remember, I said not Shavasana yet. Just take a moment to align your spine, bring it into a nice natural, neutral positioning. So as you orient yourself to your spine in this horizontal position, feel your sacrum touching the floor. Feel a little bit of a lift in your lumbar spine, your low back. Now your skin might be touching the floor, but there's an energetic lift through the bones of the back behind the navel. Feel your ribs, the thoracic spine in contact with the ground along with your shoulders. Feel some lift underneath the neck, right? Like a little cave. And back of the head resting squarely. One of the benefits from a supine position in doing pelvic work and opening work for the hip sockets is that we get the support of the floor underneath us. We get some assistance keeping our torso in neutral position, which allows us the opportunity to focus more on what we might call pure hip flexion, pure hip rotation, less encumbered by the effects of gravity and balance challenge. So from your supine position with knees bent, feet on the floor, any comfortable distance away from your glutes and side bodies, place your arms anywhere they feel safe, supported. And let's start with some forward and backward pelvic tilts. So tip your tailbone to the floor and move your navel to the ceiling. Make the arch in the lumbar spine bigger, as big as you comfortably can right now. And then reverse this, sliding your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees and drawing your navel into your backbone. And start this forward and rocking motion. Let it increase with intensity gradually as we do a few rounds here. And so in this forward and backward motion, we want to find the rhythm between the low back and the pelvis and the thigh bones. So there's not a lot of pushing or scrubbing going on with the feet or the knees, but we're trying to emphasize the tilt from thigh bone to pelvis, pelvis to lumbar. And maybe do that 2 or 3 more times here. You might be moving a little faster or a little slower than I am. But just start to articulate through that area of the bottom here with shoulders back, head back. I'm going to go 1 more time in each direction, forward and backward. And then as you return the pelvis to a neutral position, take your feet wider than hips distance. Now start to move the thigh bones side to side. Right? Roll from one outer hip to the opposite outer hip, moving your legs through space like windshield wipers in a gentle rain. And as you take this motion side to side, again, let the range of motion at the end points increase gradually, finding just a little bit of that sensation of full range, smooth and controlled from side to side. We want to encourage the side to side rhythm as we move across the back brim of the pelvis and start to encourage a little bit of inner and outer rotation in the thigh bones in the hip sockets. So we'll go a couple more times side to side here. And I'm going to do 1 more time. Make sure you balance yourself out from right side to left side. And then as you return to center, bring your feet back in, hips bones distance apart, draw your heels in close to your glutes so that your shin bones are as vertical as you can make them. Find your inner feet, your outer feet full-footed onto the ground with your arms by your sides. Bend your elbows, make Mr. Roboto arms, and start to hit back through your heels, feet, elbows, armpits, and head. Puff up your chest. And then raise yourself up, bridge pose. Bring your hips at least as high as your heart, maybe beyond, maybe not. We'll take a first few breaths here in this position, pressing the shoulders back, shoulder blades back, triceps into the floor, feet down. Bring some contraction to the back side of your body, right? Between the shoulder blades, into the glutes, maybe the hamstrings a little bit. Hit it down into your heels to brighten the front side of your body. Chest, stomach, fronts of your thighs for 2 more breaths. Now stay in your bridge from here. Walk or rock from one side to the other and create more of a chest expansion behind you by drawing your shoulder blades around your spine, elbows closer together. Clasp your hands or hold your strap between your hands for a bind. Use this extra elevation of your chest to walk your feet to the right. So you're going to heel toe. It's a little bit of a side bridge bending pattern. So if you're looking at yourself from the ceiling, you might be making a C shape. Push your left shoulder into the floor. And now as you walk yourself as far as you're able, sit your butt down, and you're going to sit either on your right forearm or on the floor outside your right forearm. Take a few breaths here and open up through the ribs, through the chest, through the collarbones, especially breathing from the pelvis across the line of your torso into your left armpit. Now press the head back, feet into the floor, raise your hips. Heel toe yourself through center or step through center. Head over to the second side. Work your way to your left as far as you can. Keep your right shoulder blade pushing down into the floor with a nice full chest expansion expression here. And lower the hips to sit on your left forearm or outside of your left forearm. Take some breaths from the pelvis, heavy down through your arm or directly onto the floor, across through the ribs, the chest, especially the right collarbone, the right shoulder, right armpit reaching back towards the floor behind you. Raise your hips up. Come through center, recenter yourself. Take at least 1 full breath in and out here. Bring everything into alignment right to left, the best that you can feel. And then unwind the arms. Lower yourself down and just pause at the bottom. Try to resist the temptation to scooch and wiggle and roll around too much. Just be with the sensations as they move through your body for a moment here. And let's head into our hand to foot sequence. So start with right leg, draw it in. Draw your right inner knee towards your right earlobe. Hold on behind the thigh or around the front of the knee to give yourself a nice squeeze of compression. Head back, shoulders back, sacrum down still. And slide your left leg long and strong into a standing position. Right? A posture of Supta, Supine, Tadasana, mountain pose. And as you take a few initial breaths here from your pelvis, maximize the distance from your right inner knee to your left inner knee. From the crown of the head through the sole of your extended bottom leg. From this position, bring your right hand either to the pinky toe side of your foot, first 2 peace fingers to a big toe hold, or you can add your strap around your foot and make your right leg straight. If you're using your strap, remember to hold your hand as close to your foot as you can so the arm is long instead of doing a bicep curl. That'll come in really handy and helpful in a few more asanas. So wherever you're at, bottom leg behind you is pushing out strong and standing. From the pelvis, contract the lifted right quadricep to make the leg as straight as you possibly can into the resistance that your hand or strap is providing you. Both legs active in the asana, active in the exercise, just working in two different directions. Shoulders back, head back. Take a few more breaths here. As we build and as we add on kind of layers of complexity for the body shape, so to speak, remember you can come back here at any point you might want to. This is where we'll all be regrouping in a few more exercises. So from this position, take your left hand onto the top of your left thigh with your fingertips pointing towards your toes. Use your left hand to encourage your left thigh down towards the floor. Now bend your top right elbow out to the side as you lift your shoulders and head up. Send your gaze towards your shin and keep the space between the neck, the chin, and the chest open. So as you do here, reach the fingertips towards the toes. The toes are a little bit of an encouragement. Lift your sternum up towards your shin, chin towards your ankle or low shin. And for a few more breaths, balance the effort coming from the front of your torso, lifting you up with the pull of your top arm. Lift up and curl as much as you can. Bend your right knee out to the side, come into an upside down pigeon. Left hand to foot, right hand to knee, or right foot to left elbow, or right arm can sweep with your hand or your strap to the back of your head. If you have the strap behind the head, make sure it's right around the bony part of the skull so that you can push back through the head and the nape of the neck. So wherever you've chosen to go, push out strong through the left leg. It's still your strong standing back leg. Move your left inner knee and your right inner knee away from each other in opposite directions. And use a little bit of the weight of your body from your shoulder girdle to the head pressing back to draw and open up through the groins. Take a few more breaths here. From this position, curl yourself up again. Lift up your chest, bring it to your shin closer. Go back to your starting position, right hand to foot or strap, left hand to thigh. Come to your ab curl with both legs straight. Keep lifting your chin to your shin, the front of your ribs to the front of your thigh. Now slowly lower down, shoulders, head. Left arm out to the side like a wing now. Plug your left armpit and shoulder blade into the floor, the back of your hand onto the ground. And slowly open your right leg away from your left armpit. The left hip, right hip might shift a little bit, but they don't unplug too much. Your left shoulder blade stays tacked back. So from the center line of your spine, your right inner ankle and your left armpit are moving away from each other to open up the front body towards the ceiling. Take 2 more breaths here. Now use both your hand strap and leg muscles to draw the right leg back up to its starting position. Switch hands. Hold your foot or your strap with your left hand now, keeping the leg straight, right arm out to the side like a wing. So shoulder blade, armpit and back of the hand plug into the ground. And now from your right hand and your right foot, move them away from each other as you crisscross the body. So the shoulders won't lift or move, but the hips might. As your right foot reaches across to you, to the opposite side of the room, spin your chest, spin your ribs, and reach out through the right side body, away from it. And then slow and controlled, draw yourself back up to starting position. Unhand, unstrap the right leg, take it out to meet left leg partner, and pause for just a moment here to observe, to absorb, to integrate. Rebend both knees, feet to the floor. Now switching sides, draw your left leg in, hold on underneath the thigh or around. Take your left inner knee towards your earlobe as you give it a nice squeeze of compression. Head back, shoulders back. Keep the integrity, keep the essence of that neutral spinal alignment that we created at the beginning. Slide the right leg out, moving the right inner knee and the left inner knee in opposite directions from each other. From your pelvis, start to set up your bottom right leg into Supta Tadasana, this strong standing leg presence. So we want to be just as skillful on the second side as we were on the first. So we're going to make sure we don't rush here. With your left hand or first two peace fingers or your strap, attach left hand to left foot. Push through the right leg to straighten the left. Your left thigh might have to move away from your rib cage. That's going to be okay. Work into the fullest strong expression of the top leg that you can. Work into the fullest strong expression of the bottom leg as you can. And now from the soles of your feet, draw energy up, kind of drink it up into the core of your pelvis. And from the focal point of your pelvis, push out through both legs with equal enthusiasm, just in two different directions. Now take your right hand to the right thigh. It's going to encourage the right thigh to stay in contact or moving down towards the floor beneath you. Left elbow might bend out to the side if you find you have some extra arm. With your chin, sternum, and ribs, lift up. So right hand reaching towards the inspiration of the toes. Gaze going up more to the ceiling or to where the ceiling and wall meet in front of you. From the front line of your body, give some contraction to work against gravity to raise yourself up, with the assistance of the top arm, but not utter dependency on it. Take a few more breaths here. Now slowly turn the bottom hand and arm up, bend the left leg out, and choose your upside down kind of pigeon or figure four shape. Hand to ankle, hand to knee, elbow to ankle, hand to knee. Strap if you're using it around the head, or hand behind the head. Again, there are good and bad places to be. The good place to be for you is the place that gives you some challenged success. If you have found yourself somewhere that you can't sustain or that is uncomfortable or painful, that's not the right place for you. Use some of your other options. As we take several more breaths, hit out through the strong standing back leg on the floor. Move your right inner knee and your left inner knee away from each other as you use your shoulder girdle, your head pressing back, reaching back to the floor to open up through the inner lines of the legs and up into the groins. Curl yourself up first. Unwind, left hand to strap or foot, right hand to thigh. Return to kind of phase 2. And then slowly lower the shoulders down, head back. Maybe your left leg comes back with you a little bit more, maybe not. Right arm out to the side. Plug your right armpit and shoulder blade into the ground. From your sternum, broaden across the foundation through the back of the hand onto the ground. And then move your right hand and your left foot away from each other as you open up the front of your body. So this open, lifted left leg gets a lot of the play, a lot of the action. Rightfully so, but put your left leg into place and then remember that you have the entire rest of your body doing the asana as well. So hold your left leg in place. Now spin your right hip point away. Spin more through your spine to the right. Reach through your right waist, your right ribs, your right collarbone. And think about moving your left big toe mound and your right armpit away from each other. Draw your left leg back up to its starting position. Switch hands either onto your foot or onto your strap. And as your left arm now becomes a part of your foundation, extending out to the side, draw your left leg across. Now it's your left big toe and your left hand or armpit moving away from each other. You'll come as little or as far here as you can or as you choose to from day to day. I can feel myself bumping into my strap on the floor. So I think I'll stay right here for now. Again, it's not any artificial imagination of what we should look like on the outside that really matters. Go to the alignment around your spine. Find that neutral spine that has a hint of rotation to it right now. From your spine, reach out through the left arm. Draw across through the left leg. Find this experience of successful challenge from your core to your periphery and from your periphery to your core for 2 more breaths. Make your pose look exactly like you want it to from the inside out. And then draw your left leg back up to starting position. Unhand, unstrap. Take your left leg down to meet its right leg partner. Pause for a moment at the bottom again to absorb, observe, integrate. With both legs out long, take your arms up overhead. And let's create a boomerang shape with your heels walk to your right. As your heels walk to the right, maybe off your mat or beyond the right side of your body, now tip your torso to the right, shoulders back, head back. Squeeze your legs together. And with your right hand, hold your left forearm or wrist and give yourself a little draw of length and a few breaths from the left pinky toe up the whole line of the body, through the hip, waistline, ribs, through the length of the arm, through the left pinky finger. Release any tension through the upper body. You can keep the arms overhead. Straighten yourself out as you come through midline. And then walk your heels, your legs to the left. Make your boomerang shape to the second side. Tip your torso, squeeze your legs together. And with your left hand, hold your right forearm or wrist and give yourself a little bit of just a tug, right? It's not a lot, just a little act of elongation and encouragement into which you can breathe from the right pinky finger to the right pinky toe. And release the upper body. Draw everything back to a line along center. Slide your heels in, raise your knees up, give yourself a well-deserved hug here. Just a little squeeze of compression. And returning your feet to the floor. Decide if it feels better to walk your feet wide and let your knees fall in, or if it feels better to walk your feet in and let your knees fall out. If there's some other position with some symmetry from right side to left side, take that position here now too. And we're just going to pause for a minute of constructive rest. Recognize the effort you just put into creating your shapes and executing your exercises, and allow yourself to absorb the benefit of those efforts, setting yourself up for whatever's to come next. And from your resting position, roll to one side, press yourself up to sitting. Thank you so much for carving out this time so far in your day today. Some of us are on to more exercises, some of us are on to something else today. So be well and enjoy it all. Bye.